Hey guys, I'm out starting some seeds. It is a gloriously warm late February day, and I need to start my cold crops because I got about 6 to 8 weeks till I can plant them out in the garden. And so 'tis the season to plant cold crops. And I'm actually just going to do 2 varieties today. I think I'm going to do a smaller tray later this week with some cabbages, but this is just for my Brussels sprouts and some kalettes. So we are in a zone 3 with a very short season. We actually don't get a first and last frost date. Our estimated one is June 15th, but we freeze all summer long. So these cold crops will grow my whole season here in where I'm at in Central Oregon. And so this is a special F1 hybrid. I grew these because they were a gift to me from another gardener in town, and they are a cross between a kale and a Brussels sprout. And these have a picture of Brussels sprouts on the thing. This is not what they look like. They're more fluffy. They actually are overwintering in my little garden, so we're gonna see what that does. That was more like they weren't ready for when I was ready, or when they needed to be, so I just left them, and it worked out with all the things we had going on this fall. So I'm going to plant these seeds, and if you are ready to, my gardens are always ready to plant out by the end of April, and I'm not going, these seeds are expensive, and I think I accidentally dropped 3 in there, but I'd like to do 2 in each pot. These are 4-inch pots, so they're bigger, but I don't want to, I think we'll eat a lot of these, so I'd like to save a couple seeds for next year, but if I don't, we'll just buy some more. So there is a lot of things you do not need to start inside. I find it that you can grow. So if it's starting seeds inside is intimidating, or maybe you don't have the setup, or you don't really need a professional, you don't need a fancy setup. You just need some containers, and it can be anything used or whatever that can hold soil and water. I'm using seed starting mix. This is from Wilco. It's our local farm co-op store. This has 0 nutrients in it. So it's peat moss, perlite, pumice, and washed sand. You have to feed your plants if they're in here for a while. I don't know if I'll necessarily need to feed these guys, but I have some onions that have been in there for a month or so. They need some food. This is so the next one I'm going to do the rest of these cups in Brussels sprouts. So I'm going to do 2 in each one. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 16, 18, 20. So that's like 24 Brussels sprouts. I might do a little more. These seeds, this is an obscenely large seed pack. This is a pound of Brussels sprout seeds, Long Island, which is extremely hardy. This is for our community garden that I purchased for. Yeah. So this is a bit overkill for normal usage. I always overseed because I didn't know if I liked this seed company, but I overseeded my onions because I was like, I just want to have some good germination. Yeah, well, they could barely even, some of them couldn't even pop up. You're gonna hear my growly bear dog. Some of them couldn't even pop up because they were so thick, so I had to go in and trim them. I was like, oh, this is a disaster. This is gonna be, good thing it's for a community garden. I'm gonna have a lot of help planting them out. But, well, this is the quickest video. And there she is. All planted. Seeds like to be planted twice as deep as they are wide. I got these, so if they're really tiny, it's not very big at all, which these are not. I got these lovely 4-inch pots from my brother-in-law for Christmas. We exchanged names, just the 6 of us, my parents, my sister and brother-in-law, and Trey and I. And he just knows me so well. Also, I text my sister a link. These are Bootstrap Farmer, made in America. Lovely, they're great quality. This is a Bootstrap Farmer seed bottom tray, and I actually like it for in my greenhouse too, but specifically if you're in your house, you want these. There's no holes in them, so the water doesn't drain. I like them in my greenhouse because if you forget to water them, they have a water reservoir, and they're not going to get scorched in your greenhouse. Also, if they're in your house and when you water them, they're not going to, it's not going to go all over your floor. There are plenty of seeds that you can grow in the ground that you can direct sow, meaning you just pop a seed into your garden, water it, and let it grow. I have had great success with broccoli and faster maturing cabbages and cauliflower, but I haven't had great success just because with Brussels sprouts, they germinate and they take a really long time to get to their point. So I am just putting these ones, kind of babying them in my house. And I have only grown Brussels sprouts in my smaller garden, which is over here, and it's quite shaded, which is wonderful where we live because we are in the high desert and we do get that extreme heat, but it keeps it where my cold crops can go all season long without going to flower. But I am going to grow these in my big garden this year. One, we are resting our small garden, and two, I want to see what full sun can do for these puppies. I want to see if it'll help mature it. Could they go to flower? Certainly, that is a risk, but I want to see what they can do with full sun. My onions and carrots, when I stopped growing them into the little garden and put them in the big garden, that's where I had a lot of my success. They all had full sun. It was beautiful. And now I've had good success with cabbages out here too. So that is kind of what is up. Like I said, it is late February. I could give you the exact date if you need it. It is February 26th. So that gives us exactly, I had it on my calendar to start yesterday. So it is that I had to go to the phone store. So that took up a good portion of my day. Let's see. So 8 weeks from today would put us at April 23rd, which is perfect for 8 to 10 weeks. Hopefully these guys get big and strong by the end of April. That is my typically my planting week. Earth Day is the 22nd. Resurrection Day is it's Easter Sunday, or the week of Easter is our planting week this year, which is wonderful because I will do my kids' spring break that week, and it's just gonna be, we're gonna get stuff planted out. As far as my onions go, we're super warm today and tomorrow and the next day, and we do drop again. Now if you are a Central Oregonian and thus you forget, March can be a harsh month. We have gotten 4 or 5 feet of snow in March. So do not think we're out of the woods. We are not. So enjoy these false spring days, but also know that in March we could get hammered with some cold temperatures. And like a week and a half ago, we got to -20. So there is that. But my onions are inside. They need fed, and we're probably right on track. I typically feed them like between 1 and 3 times, depending on when I think they need it, because I overly seeded them. They need it now. All I do is the Alaska fish fertilizer. It works great. You can get it at any local Lowe's, Walmart, or Bi-Mart has it. That's where I get it. I even think Ace Hardware has it. So you can also buy it online. I've had it shipped. And it's like 20 bucks. I don't know what it is currently, but it was 20 bucks. And that'll last you years and years and years because it's a gallon, and it goes a long way, especially for feeding indoor plants. Those onions need fed. In a few weeks in March, as long as the weather is not psycho cold, they'll go out to the greenhouse, my onions. As soon as my onions go out to the greenhouse, and I'm always a little worried about them, I'll be out there covering them with frost cover for the first few nights just to make sure that they're not gonna die. They're frost hardy, but they're in little baby seed cups. Gotta make sure. After that, they grow like 6 inches in a day. It's like a week, and they just love the sunlight out there. So that's about in March. Now, I don't think they're quite ready to go out. March is like Friday or Saturday. They're not ready to do that yet, but maybe like mid-March, in a couple weeks after they get a feeding or 2, they'll be ready to go, and they'll go out and get out of here. And it's perfect timing because that's when I like to get my tomatoes in. I start my tomatoes. My peppers are already going. They're popping. Most of them. These are my cold crops that I'm starting. The only ones I'll be starting inside. Oh, I did say I might add some cabbages. I think I might add some cabbages. I have had not great success with storage cabbages, planting them directly in the garden. Something eats them, or they die, or I don't water them good enough, or they die. They always die. And so I am going to start them inside, move them out to the greenhouse, or I could just start them in the greenhouse, but we get so cold it takes them forever to germinate. So I'm going to start them inside, move them out to the greenhouse. I'll have plenty of time. They only need a couple, 4 to 6 weeks before I could kick them out. And I have extra shelf space because my tomatoes ain't started yet. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today on this beautiful February afternoon, and I will see you on my next video. Bye guys. Oh my stalls and straps. Oh crap, I didn't label these suckers.